If you love comic books, you'll love comicspriceguide.com, the world's largest comic book price guide. Basic membership is free, and you'll have access to an amazing message board with a fantastic community of your fellow collectors. You can also upload your comic book inventory and manage its value in real time. Learn more about your favorite comics with their database of over 950,000 comics. It's a great place to sell, buy, or trade comics. So celebrate being a geek and sign up for comicspriceguide.com today. Looking for highly entertaining pop culture podcasts with high production values? Then check out the Journey into Comics podcast network at journeyintocomics.com. Nate Phillips and his crew deliver an amazing variety of downloadable podcasts on a variety of pop culture subjects, from comic books to entertaining with friends, from Doctor Who to professional wrestling. If you have a geek interest, the Journey into Comics podcast network is made just for you. For a complete downloadable selection of their shows, go to journeyintocomics.com. You can also subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Podbean, and Stitcher Radio. So, for an incredible selection of pop culture podcasts that consistently deliver insight and humor, check out journeyintocomics.com today.
And good morning, and we are running behind this morning, but just in case you're forgetting where the heck you're going to this morning in terms of broadcasting entertainment.
Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore with your host, Brian K. Morris, independent publisher, freelance hybrid author, award-winning playwright, and former mortician's assistant. Beware. Beware! That might not be a phone jingling in your pocket. Join the Nevermorians for morning mischief and madness at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central. Your sense of humor is the only thing you need to wear.
Hello, everybody. I'm Brian K. Morris. Having a little slowdown this morning, feeling a little indulgent, and didn't get this set up the way I wanted to. But anyway, glad you're here for Nevermind the Furthermore for July 6, 2020. Hope you all had a great 4th of July weekend where it's applicable, or you burned us in effigy because it was treasonous. Anyway, hope the morning's treating you well. And of course, we got to have our people in here like Christian Basil. You got the Morning Morris monster here. I am ready. And Sarah says, morning, hope all had a good weekend. Hope you had one too. Hope you celebrated inappropriately. And now it's a party because Sarah's here. Oh, yeah. You don't know YouTube's today? Well, I told YouTube's to activate. YouTube hours. Activate. All right, let's see what happens. And hi, all. Donna Carlene, mwah, glad to see you here. And now the tubes are working. I love the tube. She's a Lady is a great song. And Running Behind Drink. Well, with Christian, it's more like he mentioned oxygen. Drink. Anyway. We drank. Anyway, hope you're having a great one, Christian. And good morning, Nevermorians. Meredith Longren is talking to us from the YouTubes, and we're glad you're here, Meredith. Mwah. And Meredith is going to be on tomorrow night's Clever Title Pending. Don't forget that, along with Rob Anderson and some other surprises, as we talk about what it takes to set up a publishing company. It's going to be a lot of fun, so please bring your questions, all right? And morning to you, Carl. Hey, your evil twin was at Facebook a minute ago. You better take care of that. And morning, Sarah. Sarah, love you. And morning, Meredith. Sarah says, Carl, everyone's saying hello to each other. This is so sweet. And Carl Witzman, poor Brian got his fez smooshed. Was there a fight to get on the show? Riot! My fez is always, this fez is always smushed. This isn't my show fez. This is like my home fez. It's a little more casual. So, no, what happened was I just lost track of the time, and I'm thinking, oh, this is so nice. I'm just sitting here drinking coffee, getting ready for the show. So off I went. So anyway, So if you didn't get the usual notifications, that's absolutely fine. And Charles F. Millhouse, good morning to you, my friend. Hope all is going well. Hope your weekend was sensational. David Atkins, our 4th was terrifying as the attacks we were rampant in the area. I'm tired of politicians not stopping their attacks, and crap happen no more. Well, let's hear more about this, David. And Sarah drank just because, apparently. Looking forward to clever title pending. I hope so. We're gonna have some good advice for people that want to start up a publishing concern, particularly comic books. Because as you know, I'm part of Terraform Comics, as is Meredith and Rob Anderson and a whole bunch of other really cool people. We've been starting to get submissions. And the window on the submissions is closing. So please, please send them if you are going to. Otherwise, just keep working on them, and we'll open up that window when we are available again. To give you an idea, Falstaff Books, for instance, which is a rather sizable operation, they had a 1 month. They generally have a 1 month window for submissions for the rest of the year. They're a book publisher, an independent book publisher, and they got so many in in 2019, they got so many good submissions that they actually turned off the submission window for 2020. Probably a good thing, too, the way 2020 has been going for many people. And they are not going to open it up again until maybe 2021, but they are working on some stuff. And Christian Basil, put the fez back on. We're getting too much glare. Christian, this is a solar panel for a sex machine. You know what I'm saying? And I've devoted my hormones to other things than growing hair, you poor man. And Carl Witzman says, sorry about that, David. Yes, seriously. And Eric Hawkins is here. Eric, good to see you, buddy. Hope your morning's going well. And David Atkins says, I guess the whole situation just came into the small towns now. Fireworks being used to attack people and thrown in cars. Okay, now that sort of crap needs to be thoroughly prosecuted. And I would call the police on that. And I'd be calling the mayor this morning and the chief of police and getting all your neighbors to do the same. There is no excuse for that. I mean, accidents do occur. That is true. But, a few years ago when we lived in an apartment on the south side of Lafayette, we had somebody setting off fireworks by a small retention pond we had. And I came out the next morning and some of them had landed on my car, which I notified the lady in charge of the complex, and she was going to do something about it. We moved out before she could. But anyway, and I wasn't even sure they were from the apartment complex, the people that I saw firing the fireworks. But anyway, David, I hope you'll follow up on it and get your neighbors to do so too. Going to be a good panel tomorrow. Sarah, we do try. It's going to be lively. And we are talking about ways to make it even cooler going into the thing. So we're going to be working on that. I'm going to find out what's going on with that today, but it may be a little extended time. You know what I'm saying? It may bleed over into another show I know you like. So anyway, Eric Hawkins, Tarot Watt Comics, tell us more about that. Well, Eric, you've obviously been so busy with your own Zombiful World of Oz fulfillment, which ought to happen, later this week maybe, or early next? Anyway, yes, Terraform Comics. There's a group of us of like-minded individuals who kind of miss how comics used to be. My honey has just come back from the chiropractor. Did you have fun, honey?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Did you have fun getting your spine cracked into? Well, she's gone to the little colorist room, so I guess she had a good time. Anyway, want to say hello to Michelle Morel Shavitz. I'm glad you're here. Good morning to Michelle. Welcome to What We Do here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday here on Nevermind the Furthermore. We're also seeable on Facebook and YouTube. Also my business channel, Rising Tide Publications. Hope you like what you see. What we ask you to do now is, if you've got something to say, just type in the comments. I'll read it. We'll have a conversation. Also, because you're here, if you have a business that you own, or a creative endeavor you're involved with, or a charity that you're fond of, or even someone who is very creative that you don't think gets enough recognition, put something in the comments. Let's talk about it, all right? And yes, honey.
See you downstairs.
Okay, mwah, bye-bye. Enjoy. There's more coffee, honey.
Yeah.
A little less than there was when you left, but
Oh, well.
we'll make more. Anyway, yes, for those of you who are keeping track this morning, chilled Tim Hortons. And it's probably a good thing I'm not standing up, or even if I could. Anyway, Amy Husband McKinley is here. Mwah, Amy, hope you're having a great morning. Hope you had a fantastic 4th. And please tell Cookie thanks for the secret link. I was pulling for the Balls of Chaos team. Those Limers really had poor sportsmanship. Didn't they, Carl Witzman? I'm telling you. For those of you who don't know, I have a monthly newsletter, which I will switch to that banner right now. It's a free newsletter. Totally free and somewhat uninhibited. But anyway, we talk about various things on our mind, tell you where we're going to be for the rest of the year, which is listen, it's getting a little shorter every month, unfortunately. But no, one thing I've become hooked on, Carl, are the marble races. There's like Futaba and Jelly are the two main that I watch. And they've been going on for ages. I just recently found out about them, and I am absolutely entranced with them. For those of you who don't know, the marble races are like actual races, and they are announced like it's the Daytona 500, and they revolve around tracks with various obstacles and stuff, and it is riveting entertainment. Carl, wasn't I right? Isn't that glorious? Oh, and Sarah says, sounds about right, David. Unfortunately, you're right. And solar panel for a sex machine. That is right. OMG, look out. And Cindy kept good morning, interesting human. Cindy, mwah, glad to see you. CKOEPP.com. Check out her newsletter because it's 100,000 times more entertaining than mine, even though she doesn't have anything on marble races in them. David Atkins, the fireworks were amazing every year until now. No police could respond. Rioters were in the city. They were protecting the statues. I am sick of this. Talk to many who are sick of it. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people probably across the nation were using local fireworks as a cover for various activities. And, I understand pulling the statues down. What I don't understand is why the locals didn't get a vote in it, where it's a group of people who basically take it upon themselves to decide what the rest of us should think and find interesting or historical or what have you. You can insert your own word there. But when a city says, you know what, we're going to take these things down, they're right, then I'm 100% behind that, or put up a referendum or something. But yeah, we shouldn't have to. That is just nutty. David, I understand it today. Just detached from social media. That's what I did yesterday, and I feel invigorated. And we're going to have some more stuff coming up that we'll talk to you about that will invigorate you too. Joe Bachman, good morning to you. Hope you're having a great morning. And hashtag bring back Cookie. Wait, Christian, I'd love to. Seriously, she is funny. She is entertaining. You know, when we were dating, it's funny because a couple of my friends were like, why are you hanging around with her? She's not fun. And I'm like, have you met her? How long have you known her? You've known her longer than I have. What do you mean she's not fun? But yeah, she's nutty. And yeah, we could have her on here, but she doesn't like being on camera. However, if we can bring up my book, now I'm not just using this as a plug, of course, because I would never mention that you can buy the Haunting Scripts of Bachelor's Grove right now from Smashwords and from Amazon. Just do a search for my name. Thank you very much. No, I'd never do that. That's cheap and tawdry. Anyway, no, once we get my business up to the point where I'm consistently earning enough to replace her salary, then we're going to bring Cookie home. And she has promised me she will do an episode of one of my shows with me immediately afterwards. But thank you, Christian. Yeah, she's a lot more fun than I am, believe me. And Cindy Cat, for more very festive summertime fun, go to Smashwords and look for Brian K. Morris. Well, thank you, huh? I appreciate that. George R. Christie, glad you're here. Hope your morning's going well. And if you're still in the patriotic mode, we recommend Skyman, pre-World War II book, filled with adventure and romance and action and high concept. It has an introduction by Roy Thomas, comics icon and historian. Plus, there's that beautiful Pat Boyette cover and a nice little illustration on the back that is based on the Ogden Whitney, the very first shot of Skyman we ever see. And a certain someone who says he's not an artist had something to do with it, I'm glad to say, but didn't take credit for it. And hashtag bring Cookie home, hashtag keep Cookie home. Sarah, thank you very much. I'm sincere about that. And issue 1 arrived Friday, says Eric Hawkins. Issue 2 of the Zombieful World of Oz ships out to me on the 14th. All rewards are here and ready to be packed up. Even have my addresses loaded onto stamps.com. Yeah, I've got to get onto stamps.com. I really do. You and Rob Anderson have made it sound sexy enough. And I realize that I don't have a fondness for, mail order. It's a lot of work. But by the same token, I need to do it. So you and Rob are inspiring me to step out of my comfort zone, if you will. So let's see, Rochelle Lester, glad to see you here. Hope your morning's going well. And Cindy, I'm going to go over your last name because I'm sure I will misspell or mispronounce the middle one. Cindy Saran, I'm glad you're here. Welcome to the show. Hope you all have a great morning. Hope you had a great 4th of July. As I do, BB Cole, brother, how you doing, man? Hope you are having a splendid Monday morning. All right, and hope your weekend went well. Cindy Cap says also on the Zon, as its buddies call it, go to Amazon and look for my name. Thank you, Cindy Cap. Cindy takes such good care of me because she knows I'm inept. And I spend more time promoting you guys than I do myself. I got to get busier about that, don't I? Thank you, Cindy. Much love. Much love. And don't forget Animal Eye from Bear Publications. That's at bearpublications.com. Or get it directly from Cindy's pals at Amazon. Do a search for Cindy Kep. And that's KOEPP. Also sign up for her newsletter at CKOEPP.com. All right. And David Atkins' wife had earphones on with noise canceling abilities as she played videos while trying to sleep. I could only play video games as the boom shook the walls. Did not feel safe inside. Yeah, we had people on all sides of us on Saturday night that were, I was on Indie Volt that night on Saturday night, and it actually got so bad around me that we had to mute my microphone. We couldn't hear a word I was saying, and I couldn't hear other people. I accidentally spoke over Chuck Pinot, and of any people on this planet, he is the last person on earth I would want to miss even a syllable of his wisdom. So anyway, that was a disaster. I'm told I'm allowed back on Indie Volt, but I'm not so sure. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Anyway, it was a grand time, and hope you check out Saturday night's show with the Devil's Advocate. That was a lot of fun. And also this weekend, if you're looking for some fun, starting at Friday at noon Eastern Time, 11 Central, IndieCon, a virtual convention, is going to be launched on Facebook and on YouTube simultaneously. And I am going to be launching it with a special episode of Nevermind the Furthermore at noon Eastern. And then also on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central Time, we will have a special clever title pending. And my guest will be Mr. Eric Hawkins. We're going to have a casual chat about creativity, about comic books, and about Kickstarter. So I would urge you to watch because Eric's a really fascinating guy. And if you want to know how to run a campaign to its final goal, he is the man to talk to. He seriously is. But don't tell him I said that because he's likely to use that against me somehow. But anyway, that's going to be starting at noon on Friday Eastern Time, and it's going to go all the way, not just through Friday, not just through Saturday, but all the way to Sunday. And if you need more information, or you would like to take an hour or 30-minute block to promote your work, or just have a panel and reach out to people and kind of expand your social media base, if you know what I mean, contact Meredith Logren, who is on here, or contact me and I will get you in touch with her. We still have some slots open, and we are actually now thinking about maybe doubling up on some slots, like some of the virtual cons do, but we're not going to ignore the people who have the second slots. Believe me, we are going to take care of you. But anyway, please contact Meredith Logren, and she will set you up here, all right? And Carl Wisman, did you like that segue to the promo for the newsletter? Looking out for you. I do, Carl. Thank you so much. I need all the help I can get, as you more than well know. And actually, I'm just tickled that you like the marble races. I was one of the races. I was a little late this morning. I found one. I'm following like it's a beautiful racetrack, and they were having the time trials for the qualifying marbles, and everyone's listening to this going, what in the hell are you talking about, Brian? But anyway, no, it's a lot of fun, and I really urge you guys to check it out on YouTube. And David Atkins, the fireworks have not stopped as of yet each night. Well, in Indiana, I don't know how it is in your municipality, but in Indiana, people are allowed to shoot off fireworks within restricted hours from something like 2 weeks before the 4th of July to 1 week after. So this coming Saturday will be the last day that anyone can shoot fireworks legally in town, although I don't expect it to stop, on that night. And we get some occasional fireworks. But yeah, it's annoying, and it's especially annoying to people who are elderly. The explosions don't do their cardiovascular systems any good, and also to pets. Dogs hate this because of their sensitive hearing and all these sudden explosions going on. This is a horror. I am not a pet owner, but I feel horrible for the people who are. And it's funny because I know some of the people who have been firing off some of these explosives and not doing just firecrackers. I'm talking about sound like artillery. Well, they own pets too, and I can only imagine what their pets are going through. And I would think that somebody would be more sensitive to the needs of others, but that's what they get for being dicks. Anyway, Louis Lohner, good to see you, man. How you doing? Greetings from St. Louis. I have my raspberry tea, and we'll be working on my superhero YA series this week. Louis, that is super news, my man. Toast to you. See, now this is something we covered in the newsletter this month. That I, normally have a salute or a spotlight on a creator. And by the way, if somebody wants to be in the upcoming issues, please contact me and we'll give you some space. Okay, you can promote yourself; it'll be great. But anyway, here's the thing. So many people, when this whole coronavirus thing, or as we like to call it, the My Sharona Miley Cyrus Peter pandemic, they put their pencils down. If they're artists, they stop typing if they're a writer. And it's like, oh, I can't create. These are such stressful times. And you know what? There's some of us that kept creating. We made out. All right. I did okay. I did really well. In fact, I've been able to grow my business during this pandemic. And I don't doubt that part of it is because of the lack of competition. I greet competition. It keeps me on my toes. It inspires me to do more. But people have responded to what I put out, and this is great. And I'm working on more stuff. I am currently finishing up the script to my first Terraform comic, Sunset Trace. If you like pulp adventure, you're going to love Sunset Trace. And, just kept creating. So, Louis, I am so proud of you, my man. I am so proud of you that you keep going here and keep us posted on how that novel's coming, okay? And then maybe we can help you promote it on here. And Carl Witzman, the Jelly Guy, put so much work into that. Yeah, seriously. And so is the other racer that I mentioned earlier. But, yeah, there's these elaborate things with, like I saw one that had a water obstacle course. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And they have like funnels that the marbles go into and then fall down into another spiral. And they have like elevators that lift the marbles up to another level. And I saw one over the weekend, didn't watch it all, but it was like, this guy had looked like a 2-story house, and he had the marbles starting at the top and going down, then coming up to another floor, then going down again, then going up. And it was really awesome. And you're right. There's a lot of work that goes into this, but I love listening to the commentators ascribe human qualities to the marbles. That just makes me so happy. City Cap, and if you missed Nick Tuckert's historical fencing podcast Friday night, you should go to YouTube and check it out. Yes, definitely. Nick Tuckert is an incredible fight scientist, and he will teach you how to kill people safely with bladed weapons. So check out the Historical Fencing Guild on YouTube. Really great stuff. Also look for Nicholas Tuckert on Facebook, or not, on Facebook, but also Amazon. And Christian Basil says, Brian, isn't there something you and I are in this weekend? Something indie-ish? You mean the IndieCon that I just mentioned? Yes, sir, we are. And Christian will have a slot in there too with Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. I know Meredith Logren is I'm sure Meredith Logren is probably going to do some comic noob stuff, and we know Rob Anderson's going to be all over the place causing trouble as usual. Andrew Welch, good to see you, man. Thunderclaps and lightning flashes as Gizmo the Cloud drops from the sky, landing in the classic superhero pose, punching a hole in the sidewalk. Good to see you, citizen. I feel safer already knowing Gizmo the Clown, my clown, is in the house. Good to see you, Andrew. Hope all is going well. It'll be a great day, says Joe Bachman, as long as I don't have to play in the heat too much today. Yeah, we're expecting temperatures of 99 or not 99, but 95 or higher in central Indiana. Hopefully it's a little bit cooler for you where you are. And Christian Basil, hashtag lick the spine. Make this hashtag viral. Oh, yeah. Lick the spine of someone you love. All right, now it's official. You must own a copy, maybe another copy of that, but you need to own Skyman, the original Skyman Battles Master of Steve. And Cookie is awesome, if I say so myself, says Sarah. Well, I like her too, as you've no doubt noticed. She is a fun lady. She is very indulgent of my peculiarities, shall we say. You can take that how you want. David Atkins, the moment that anyone tries to force people to get along, it is a very bad idea. It's also impossible. Parents with siblings should understand this. The siblings must make the decisions themselves at some time. Well, yeah, I know Cookie has had, shall we say, a challenging relationship with her siblings. Sounds like they've at least declared a ceasefire for the moment, so that's pretty good. And makes me glad I'm an only child. Cindy Cap, if you missed Rising Tide's most recent newsletter, you seriously missed out. Look at the crawl down here. Amazing how it starts when I would call up Cindy and she's talking about it. Anyway, the Marble Olympics and the articles and other cool stuff was a trip. I can't wait for what comes next time. Well, Cindy, thank you so much. And also, I got to give a shout out to Cindy Keff's newsletter. It is thought-provoking in a good way. It is not intended to make you angry. It is intended to make you go, she's right. And make you think a little. But anyway, please sign up for my newsletter. The next issue will go out August 1st. I wasn't sure I was going to make the deadline this time. We've been falling behind on some things, but we made it. And August 1st will be the at 5 o'clock will be date for the next newsletter. But please go to the risingtide.pub page, and you can sign up there for the newsletter as well. And thank you very much, Cindy. I'm glad if you haven't seen the Marble Oasis, you've got to do that. We may make that a regular thing in the newsletter. People, I've gotten 2 compliments. It's almost like a quorum here. Charles F. Millhouse, I've got 2 stories for my upcoming Pulp Adventure anthology. One from Brian K. Morris and one from Bobby Nash. I can't wait to read that one. More stories on their way. I'm still looking for artists to match with some stories. Compensation is 3 copies of the publication, which is really good because a lot of places don't pay you nothing. And they make you go to Amazon to buy the book so that you have your work in. So that's more than fair. So if you are an artist, please contact Charles F. Millhouse. I understand my story is maybe still looking for an artist. So please check it out and give them some attention, all right? David Atkins, funniest thing I heard a while back was the parents who said they were not going to side with either child and made them fight it somehow. Soon they found games instead of fists to solve it. We called it the Thunderdome. 2 people walk in, only 1 walks out. Eric Hawkins, understand the tearing down of statues like the Frederick Douglass one torn down this weekend? Oh, I had not heard about that one. That's bad. It's violence for the sake of violence. There's no reasoning in what is happening. I agree. That's why I think, these taking down of statues should be an administrative function. It shouldn't be up to rioters. It should not be up to thugs and monsters who can't follow the rules, who think that they need to impose their thoughts upon us. Now, I can't say I disagree that maybe it's time that we phased out this whole Confederacy thing. If you agree with the Confederacy, good for you. We'd love to hear your views on it, but basically, they're traitors. They fought against the seat of government in Washington, D.C. And if you think about it, the Civil War, despite what the whitewasher, so to speak, would say, it was about slavery. From a lot of documentation that came out, even from the northern side of it. So now we've gotten political. Let's get the hell out of here. Teresa, good morning, Brian. Hope you and Cookie survived the 4th with style and grace. Teresa, hope you did too. Good to talk to you this morning, however briefly, and we will talk again soon, I promise. Anyway, Cindy Cap, go to Bill Sarn's Facebook page to get the best of vintage cartooniness. That is true. You want cartooniness, go to the artwork of Bill Sarn at Sarn Art 76 on Facebook. He does a lot of great warm-up sketches, many of which are in black and white, so you can print them out and give them to your children to color. And when you do, make sure that you take a picture of your child with that photo and send it to Bill Sarn, and that's Sartain. That's the only thing certain is certain. Anyway, also on Saturday mornings, he has a lot of vintage Saturday morning cartoons and commercials, which is worth the price of admission, which is, kind of funny because I spent yesterday probably too much time. I found a channel on YouTube that's become my go-to for entertainment. And they had a channel that had a number of historical broadcasts, including things like Special Bulletin with Ed Flanders, which was about a boat in the New York City, I believe it was New York City, and it supposedly had a homemade nuclear bomb and what the lead up to it was and the fallout from it. And then I saw another one that I had missed, and it had, of all people, former NBC correspondent Sander Van Oker in the lead role. And it was a great thing. It was about 3 meteors that were about to strike the Earth and how people prepared for it. And it was really had a great twist ending. It kind of starts out like the old Mercury Theater War of the Worlds, but it's really entertaining. I may be putting some of that in the newsletter next month. Eric Hawkins says, stamps.com seems easy enough to use. I can send stuff media mail via them where you can't using the USPS website. That's true. You have to go into the post office for media mail for some reason. Even got me a scale for $9 from them, not to the point of spending $300 on a label printer yet, though. Yeah. Do you just print the labels on your regular printer and just maybe tape them down or something? I'm with you. I'm not. I really don't need to buy a monotasking printer, really. And I wish there was a way to like take the stick and make the post office do it through the machine. I'm getting to like the machine, but yeah, you're right. Media mail, and according to Rob Anderson, you can verify this for me. Not that I disbelieve Rob, but you get a tracking number if you use media mail. Through stamps.com. I love the tracking number because when I send things out, as anyone who's gotten a package from me can attest on this broadcast, I send you the tracking number so you can keep track of your package. Just a little something extra I like doing. So anyway, yeah, I may have to check that out, and I wouldn't mind getting a $9 scale from those guys. Seriously, Cindy Cap, fireworks here were still happening at 2 a.m. They resumed last night until 11. Ugh. Yeah, in Indiana, I think they can legally keep firing off until like 1 p.m. Whereas I think they have to cut it off at 11 most other legal nights. Excuse me. But the thing is, you can call the police, but the problem is it's tough for the police to do anything. Because the minute they see a black and white pull up, they stop firing. And the police, under law, have to see it. You can't just take a video of it and say, look, I caught them doing this. They actually have to witness, at least in Indiana, they have to witness it going off. And then is it worth writing them a ticket? Disturbing the peace, what have you? Because 5 minutes later, they're on Nextdoor saying, oh, the police are swine, and they gave me a ticket, and I'm not going to pay it. I tore it up. In fact, I used it to light the next batch of fireworks the minute they left. So, yeah, this is a rough time. We'll get through it, though. It'll get better. David Atkins, for at least one good thing to happen this week, I am talking to some very famous artists from Marvel and indie comics about art styles and the falsity of art videos and books in real time. Keep us posted on that. That sounds interesting. Carl Wisman, I'm not sure that the Drunken Rat would fit in with the indie event, but I'd gladly show up as a drunken guest if someone opens the mic on their show. Well, you never know. Maybe we can have you on. Maybe we'll have you on our Friday show. Who knows? I think it'd be fun to just talk about just something fun. Practice your stand-up comedy, Carl, on your audience. I think this would be a good way to do it. And we are joined by citizen John B. Pica. Good to see you, John. Hope you're having a great morning. I was a complete degenerate with fireworks Saturday. We estimate that our neighborhood spent at least $10,000 combined on fireworks. That was glorious. Yeah, but the poor dogs in your neighborhood and the elderly. Good Lord. It's different if you guys have gone out to the edge of town and done that. I'm not saying I disapprove, John, but I'm glad you had a good time. Sarah, the fireworks you had on Saturday's Indie Volt was how it was at my house. Nothing like people traumatizing the folks in the nursing home across the street. Indie Volt was even better with you on. Well, thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. Rob Anderson invited me on. It was the first formal invitation. I've been in the audience several times and made comments, but I've never been on Indie Volt itself, and I enjoyed the experience. Had a great time with J.B. Calderon and Rob Anderson and Randy Zimmerman, and everyone else that called in the show, including you. Had a great time. Took a little abuse from Very and Grant, but that's kind of normal because I give out as much as I give, as I get. But yeah, it was a good show. It really had a good time myself. And despite, like I said, it's sounding like I was broadcasting from the business district of Beirut, I had a good time, and I do hope to come back again. And Cindy Kemp says, my bandit and Sprinkles hate the boom booms. Yeah, I hear you. My Cookie and my Brian hate the boom booms too. I mean, it's, I understand the need to want to celebrate, but frankly, I yearn for the days once again, or Christian Basil, excuse me. Cindy Kemp is next. But no, I understand, and please give Bandit and Sprinkles a hug from everyone, from all the Nevermorians, and tell them they are loved, and we'll try to make it better. We will have the people who made the boom booms for you die. Anyway, it may take 70 or 80 years, but I guarantee they will be dead one day, and you can rest assured. Oh, no more break time while my pal Travis is on an Army-sponsored vacation. Go to bearpublications.com, says Cindy Kemp, who would know, and get some cool speculative fiction and surprise him when he gets home with fantastic book sales. Well, that's worthwhile. We've got somebody in service for our country, which is something we needed to remember this last Saturday. So anyway, Cindy, please, on behalf of all of us here, all of the Nevermorians, please thank Travis for his service. And let's all, Nevermorians, you've got a quest. Now, you helped Eric Hawkins last week, by the way. I don't know if I told you guys, but Eric Hawkins made his $500 goal on Indiegogo, and he's still got something like a week left, I believe, to get more of the great swag that is associated with the Zombieful World of Oz. You can pick up issues 1 and 2. Issue 2 has a brand new story of Dorothy Gale by me, and I wouldn't mind doing more. Yes, Eric, I am hinting. And anyway, please check that out. Please check out Eric's Indiegogo campaign. I believe Rob Anderson's is still going too for Cat Dad Supermon #1. Carl Wisman says our cat is pretty much deaf, so it didn't bother him like it might have. Well, that's good news, I guess. So all things considered. David Atkins is coming down to the fact that even my wife, being military, cannot distinguish between the fireworks and gunfire. Having to deal with her PTSD, and my anger has been a constant boil from it. I don't blame you. I seriously don't blame you at all. I really don't. And we do want to say hello, though, to Stephen Keith Tate. Good to see you. And Adrian Johnson, glad to have you here. Tyrone Tony Reed Jr., a pleasure as always, sir. Hope you'll consider giving an hour of your time to the indie event this weekend, sir. And Nick Tockert, always glad to see you, sir. Hey, something else, you might want to get in on an indie event too. And we've got Michael Oden. Michael, good to see you, sir. Very talented indie writer. And Rob Anderson, always a pleasure, sir. And Ted Davies, TedDaviesArtistry.com. Check them out. They are awesome. And Ted Van Son, glad to have you here. We'll get to your comment in a minute. Actually, what is this? This is an interactive talk show. If you want to participate, just type in a comment and we will have a discussion. And Christian Basil, fireworks launching window starts the week before July 4th and ends 2 weeks after New Year's Day. When I heard fireworks going off on Thanksgiving, I knew then that the human race is doomed. No, that was Torchwood sending up fireworks to try to combat the alien hordes that go off around that time. So glad we could straighten that out. Remember, Nevermind the Furthermore is your leader in fake news. Adrian Johnson, good morning to you, my friend. Hope your morning's going well. Carl Wisman, Marble Races just shows you that Facebook and YouTube can introduce you to the weirdest little groups. I'm currently into guys who chase National Weather Service balloons and try to retrieve them for the National Weather Service. Now that sounds interesting. I'm going to check some of that out myself. But yeah, the marble races is just pure fun. And it helps calm me down. Because I'm like David Atkins, I can get a little riled by what's going on outside my window, whatever it may be. And so it's good to see that. It is good to see that. Carl Wisman says, although I'd rather see some gals chasing balloons. Now, there you go, Carl. You could set up a thing where redheaded cheerleaders could be chasing down weather balloons with marbles. All right. I know I'd subscribe. And Nick Tockert says, good morning, Nevermorians. Nick Tockert, it is a delight, as always, sir, to have you here. Hope your weekend went well. And I hope your honey's feeling better. David Atkins, today at noon, I will be doing my first interview over art styles, how long it actually takes to create a piece of art, from Neil Adams to Russ Heath, if you know who that is, and versus videos. Oh, okay. Well, I happen to know who Neil Adams and Russ Heath are, and I can name at least 5 things each one has done. And I happen to know they're both writers. They've both written comics as well. In fact, I have a piece of artwork, David. It is Neil Adams penciling, Russ Heath inking. It is an old issue of GI Combat. It's beautiful. It is freaking beautiful. Andrew Welch, Chester at Large Entertainment, Gizmo and Friends had to step up our game. Now doing daily videos again. Yes, good. And as always, preparing the long-awaited novel. Finally found the piece of the puzzle I was missing. Good work. What was it, if we may ask? That'd be interesting to find out. Eric Hawkins says, last push. 6 days left. Digital editions ready to go out. The physical one should be arriving in the next 10 days or so. So check out Indiegogo at that address and find a pledge level you are comfortable with, and then go up to the next one. Anyway, but seriously, Eric has got an amazing comic book out. It is even better than the first one, I swear to God, because I'm kind of the line editor on that one. But yeah, it's fantastic. I am really looking forward to getting that in my hands and on my table. Teresa Dunn says, I know most of you are suffering from complete boredom, but you don't have to be. You don't. Why not go to Amazon.com and order her book, Poetry Expressions by Teresa Dunn? You'll be amazed how reading poetry can take your mind off the COVID-19 and other problems. So go ahead. I dare you to give it a try. So check out Poetry Expressions, Teresa Dunn's very first book, which I just have a copy of right here. And we got Teresa to lick a copy of it the other day, so you know it's good. Anyway, it passes the taste test. This Poetry Expressions on Amazon by Teresa Dunn. Please check it out. It's a well-edited book. And so anyway, please check it out. And there she is, Michaela Jade. Hello, everyone. Wow, Michaela, how are you this morning? Glad to see you. Everyone is greeting Michaela, and at least Carl Witzman is. And David Atkins, okay, I have been busy finding humor to combat the anger and stress. Now, that's the way to handle it, buddy. First was The Cheap Detective. Forgot how funny that was. Oh man, I haven't heard that in a long time. I need to check that out again. Then I saw My Spy. It truly helped with my mental health. Hashtag find humor. That's true. I recommend Marble Races to you, David. I really do. It is just incredible entertainment. And Sarah says hello to Michaela. Michaela Jade says, you know it's hot outside when it feels like you've taken a shower with your clothes on. Yuck. Well, there is something to be said for that, and I'm sure Carl will have a comment about that. And David Atkins, slavery is forcing people to serve another. I see this in many of the movements I see right now. One reason they hate those people and their representations, let's be honest. Yeah. Well, I think that's a lot of the resistance, at least the initial resistance to the CHOP/Chaz movement. And then to see how it turned out, boy, you think Animal Farm never happens. Boy, howdy, could you be wrong? And that's why they're disbanding. The city is taking that area back. Sarah says, agreed, Michaela. Better than winter, in my opinion, though. I like having to wear so many layers that I end up knocking everything over because I forgot how bulky I am. Yeah, I do the same thing. And I keep hearing, well, it's easier to put clothes on than to take clothes off. And I'm actually, for a lot of reasons, more in the take clothes off category, but that's probably because of my retail days. And that's another story entirely. Poor Michaela, you're a hot woman, says Carl. See, now that's how you can sneak the compliments in without having to worry about a Me Too sort of thing happening. And nice one, Carl. Yeah, boy, howdy. That was so slick. I could run my engine on it and take some bow as well. You should. Sarah sends some love as well. She should. And yes, BKM, I tracked all the packages. So that's because you are awesome, Rob Anderson. And again, Rob, I had a great time on Friday. Sorry that the demolitions crew were outside. David Atkins' history, as the normal way it was used years back, has spoken to many on how people are and how to combat. But people forgot this. The biggest is the history of those who signed the Constitution. Yeah. And it's just stuff we never thought about until recently. And it's a good conversation to have as long as we can have it in a peaceful way with, the idea that we're going to we're not going to explain, but we're going to introduce an idea and let the other person mull it over, and rather than browbeat them with it. Eric Hawkins says, I use my regular printer and then use sheets that have 2 labels per sheet. Okay, that makes sense. Oh yeah, you probably could get you can get the 2 sheets from Avery, I guess those would work. When I get to it, I may have to quiz you what size sheet if you're using Avery labels, which model you're using, because this is sounding better and better. I'm glad we're having this conversation, Eric. It is one I've been having in my head among many with the people that live there, and you're putting together some things for me because you're awesome. And Sarah, I think the people here went to Boomland in Indiana. They were the real deal mega fireworks. Yeah, that's the thing. When I was growing up, Sarah, and I lived on the next to the Indiana border, if we wanted serious fireworks, we drove to Terre Haute, which was like about hour and a half, 2 hours away, and we could pick up the serious boomers there. But though at one point, for this, the stuff that makes your bones rattle, even from a mile away, you had to be a licensed fireworks worker, and if the police heard you using that stuff, they found you and you got ticketed for it. But now they've relaxed the thing so much because the state makes so much in sales from it, is my theory, that they're not going to stop it. And the one thing I disagree with our governor on, he won't even talk about it because it makes a lot of money for the states. So anyway, but yeah, I wouldn't mind a little more restriction, at least on the heavy fireworks, because that stuff's going to get somebody killed. Eric Hawkins, lots of people will be getting my package soon, a whole lot of people. And suddenly Meredith Logren is suddenly paying attention again. And I see her down there. I'm going to catch up to your comments here. We're only 12 minutes behind. That's pretty good for me. I will say that they need to use their phones to record everyone there, says David Atkins. Confront them and use it on YouTube and get paid there also. Become viral and get put on the talk shows. Yes, I'm evil. Well, it's kind of like what a lot of people do in the sovereign citizen movement. This is kind of funny, or First Amendment auditors, both of which I think are full of crap. Anyway, they behave badly, put it on YouTube and get monetized by other idiots. And then people go on and use their videos to complain about them, Vilified Freedom, Officer 401, Donut Operator, all those guys, and make a ton of money getting monetized for talking about them. So it's almost like a little cottage industry there. And good morning to Ted Davies, who brings the coffee. God bless you, young man. Chilled Ted Hortons. And I'm the happiest person on earth. And Ted Van Son asks, what is this? This is, like I said, this is Nevermind the Furthermore. Please join the conversation. David Atkins, Sarah, you just triggered me. Good work, Sarah. I was always told how bad I looked as a kid, and yet I was the kid who had a girlfriend more than anyone else and dated a college student while I was still in high school. Well, good for you. But David, if you're dating high school and college girls right now, we need to have that talk. You know what I'm saying? Christian Basil says, I went as far as Sarah saying fireworks at her house, and that's when I made the thought police blush, Your Honor. Yeah, and that's the thing. Some people just can't handle contrary opinions. The other night on Indie Volt with the Devil's Advocate on Saturday night, Rob just mentioned, now let's see if this works on my show now, Ethan Van Sciver, who is one of the leading figures in the Comicsgate part of comic fandom. And he is a very polarizing figure. But apparently, just the mention of his name is enough to trigger people, because somebody actually gave us a copyright strike on that program, which is total malarkey. Because all you have to do is just push back, and YouTube will go, no copyright strike here, F you. Anyway, but I find that interesting. Even the mention of some names triggers people, and I've mentioned a lot of names on this show, never had it. Now Rob will give a copyright strike just so I feel at home. Sarah, you are beautiful, says David Atkins, and do not forget it ever. We love you, Sarah. We do. Sarah knows I love her. I tell her frequently. And Eric Hawkins, oh, you're going to be part of my universe now. Well, I'm trying to attach myself to your coattails, Eric, is what it is. Because you are a star on the rise. You are going up faster than a Saturn V, and I yearn to cling to your coattails, just as I am Varian Grant and Meredith Lawgren and Rob Anderson and your name here. And Nick Talkert, if you're looking for ways to blow things up and not scare your furry friends, consider playing Big Stompy Robots. The only audio explosions will be those of laughter. That is awesome. That's great copy there, Nick Talkert. Check it out. I can verify that is an awesome game. Just buy it for the title. The title is amazing. I love it. Carl Wisman says, Facebook on the computer sucks now. New version doesn't let me reply to comments here, and I cannot invite others to the show. That's nuts. Facebook frustrates me frequently, and I've talked about it with some people. There may come a time, people, when we may migrate this show to YouTube. Yeah, YouTube has its own challenges, but they don't throttle me. Okay, I had a show I've had a couple shows recently where the viewership is, by comparison to my other shows, other episodes, is like monstrously down. And we've done nothing different. Well, I take it back. One day was Friday, which was the lead into the July 4th, and I imagine a lot of people took the day off, take a 3-day weekend, but just the same, it was far lower than normal times when we've had a show before a major holiday. The numbers were probably about, call it 7/8 of where, or 3/4 where I thought it should be. I expected it, but it's not that I'm really out for the numbers so much as you guys put in links to the stuff, and please, again, put in links to what you're doing creatively. All right, if you're publishing a book, if you got an Indiegogo or a Kickstarter, if you have somebody that doesn't talk about themselves enough, and I'm not talking about me. God knows that's not the case. Put in the comments, or a charity that you're fond of. We don't get enough charities listed here. We really don't. David Atkins, I'm always triggered when someone puts themselves down. I am free for compliments at any time, and I will find a positive remark for any and all. I'm taking commissions and calls for all times. That's because you're awesome and talented, David. So see, I paid you a compliment. Hey, Philip Thompson, morning. Any keyword planner? Philip Thompson, good morning. First of all, a keyword planner. I'm not sure. I haven't had enough coffee yet. I'm not sure what a keyword planner is. Keywords you should be able to get on your own. It's not terribly hard. Now, getting the best ones can be difficult. But anyway, if you could explain that, I would be grateful. I can always stand to learn, Philip. I'm always a learning guy. And Rob Anderson says, so we gave credit to Ethan for Cyberfrog, and we had the video on YouTube removed because of some punk stuff. Yeah, some punk is right. But the good guys won. The video is back up. People need to learn to stay in their lane where it is slow. Well, Rob, I think I need to share that video on my page as well and get the word out. What do you say? Anyway, Sarah says, thank you, David. You're so sweet. He is. Donna Carlene says, oh, great. More encouragement for him. Yeah. Carl Wisman, Sarah isn't bulky herself, but I feel the same way in the winter. Coat, hat, scarf, and you end up knocking things over to all the clothing. Yeah, before I adjusted to winter, and I was a little heavier at the time too, but I put on my super heavy winter coat, and I couldn't pull. I had trouble turning the steering wheel in my van. And we have one of those things. They were popular when Carl and I were younger. And it's a doorknob, basically, with like a screw through it that attaches to your steering wheel, and you can steer the car that way, and the wheel will move and everything. And we found those because it's really good for really precise driving. Like parallel parking and stuff, which I don't like doing, and I don't do. But anyway, we got one of those, and that knob kept hitting me in the stomach. It actually tore one of my jackets at one point. So, hashtag real life problems, first world problems, right? David Atkins, you hold your head high, Sarah. Shake that money maker, because it only proves that the bigger it is, the more it holds, the smaller it is, the more that goes into the bank. I am that good. David, you're one call away from me too on that, I think. Yeah, but we're all for shaking the moneymaker here. And Sarah, anytime you want to shake yours, I support that because I believe in you as a human being. Anyway, Meredith Lawgren says, this just in. I just confirmed Mike Barron, winner of 2 Eisners and an Inkpot, as a guest at Indie Event. Excellent. That is cool. I like Mike Barron. I really do. I love the comic book Nexus. And in fact, he's written a Nexus novel, and I've just pledged to it. So I just hope he gets my address. I haven't seen a survey yet. So anyway, Sarah says, thanks, Carl and David. And Michaela JV says, yes, I'll take this over winter any day. You and me both, friend. And nice, Meredith. And yes, Michaela, sending love to her. And Michaela says, she's laughing her buttocks off. And Carl, yeah, I'd rather be naked, but I'm sure I'd get fired. Not if you work for Rising Tide. In fact, that's kind of the dress code some days. Andrew Welch says the missing piece is actually a complete renaming of the central character. When I created Crossfire the Crusader 13 years ago for the Who Wants to Be a Superhero auditions, I remember you saying that. I never envisioned today's world. He will be completely revamped as the guardian angel of Hot Springs, Arkansas, the Archangel. Oh, that's beautiful. The storyline will follow that crisis of opinion as he decides who he will be, and the CF name will be considered and discarded in the process of finding his place as a hero. And I think it will. And I just lost the rest of your comment there. Let me see if I can find it here. Let's see. And let's see. I don't see it. Nick, Brian Rhodes, glad you're here. Hope you're having a great morning. I am having trouble. It's not coming. It didn't come through to my iPad. That's interesting. But anyway, let's keep hearing about that, Andrew. Thank you. You see, this, StreamYard only allows so many comments here, and sometimes Facebook doesn't send your comments through to me. So if I've missed your comment, I do apologize. And let's see. Oh, we missed one by Christian Basil. Oh, no, we didn't. We got that one. And let's see. Moving on. Let's see. Oh, and Ted and Son, I don't know that we've got your comment on here. Yes, we do. Okay, good. Okay, we're catching up here. Ted, in case you didn't know, the comments run several minutes, many minutes sometimes, behind what you see on the screen, simply because I'm reading and we're having a conversation. So anyway, I was worried I missed this one, Ted. Godzilla movies have become my go-to through the COVID thing. Well, good. I love those things. Out of 36 movies, I've purchased half of them. You wouldn't believe how collectible Godzilla merch is. Not sure about comics. Anyone else enjoy the big guy? You're speaking our language. In fact, I love the rubber suit stuff, the kaiju stuff from Japan myself. In fact, Ultraman. I love Ultraman. I missed out on a number of them due to busyness, but I saw they've started a new Ultraman Z. So, I think if you like Godzilla, you like Ultraman, and vice versa. So, no, it's good. I mean, we've got some fans of the Big G here, Ted. I'm glad you're contributing. Thank you, sir. And remember, says Rob Anderson, a lot of fireworks show were canceled this year, so it was DIY. That's true, but that would explain how heavy it was, because I know all of our local Carl Witzman says Michaela's new YouTube channel, Nude Landscaping. Oh, there we go. I like that. I like that a lot. I would subscribe. And by the way, folks, if I have a YouTube channel that many are watching from and will attest to its awesomeness, please subscribe. We would like to get to 100 people, 100 subscribers, so we can get a unique URL for the show and make it easier for other people to find us. So please go there, because it actually has better sound and picture quality than Facebook. So just saying. And Cilio Spotty is here. Hey, Brian K. Morris. Hey, Cilio, how you doing, man? I haven't talked to you in a while. Hope you are doing well, my friend. And Nick Tucker says, we for a while lived in the town of South Haven, Indiana. My nephew George is not but the fireworks enthusiast. So once we left the Facebook group, and that town is complaining about the no dismal fireworks display. Oh, poor people. It sucks to be them. Anyway, Rob Anderson says not copyright. It was a community strike. Oh, man, that's even worse. You're right, Rob. That was lame. That was, some coward out in the audience didn't have the stones to actually come on board and maybe talk to us, which is what a rational person would have done. That's, even Ethan Van Sciver, or especially even Van Sciver, would be take a higher road than that. David Atkins, ever want to know how anyone is affected by attraction? Remember who Julia Roberts married back in the day. And even children are beautiful to their parents, where a bald blob is not attractive to me. Well, David, you are not a bald. You better not be talking about yourself on that, because you have rock star hair. In fact, people build swings and gather nuts and store them in the winter in David's braids. Just so you know, the more you know. Christian Basil, it's irony. The people demonizing the people who provided them the right to demonize them and to face and protest against those said people without retort or punishment. Tell me another place where that works. And no, I can't. Most of the free nations are like that. You probably get the same thing in Great Britain. I understand Great Britain's having some issues too. In fact, there was some prominent Britisher, and I wish I could remember the name, but he had a huge statue that was next to this huge river or something, and some protesters actually got it pushed into the water a sizable distance away from the dock. And it was funny because there's apparently some locator inside that thing, probably in case it got stolen. And Google Maps actually lists the location of the statue as under the water. So we reported on that a couple weeks ago, which I thought was amusing. But there's so many things that, oddly enough, make me smile. Carl Westman, I am so happy that I paid Eric Hawkins to do my cover. When he's famous and people start looking for his art, my sales will rocket to 5 books a year. That's it, Carl. Keep the dream alive. Reach for the stars, my friend. Reach for the stars. And Carl Westman, hashtag ride Eric's coattails. I've been doing that now for 5 years. But in fact, I think it's fair to say that Eric and I have talked, and we are going to be collaborating again soon. I think we make a good team. I really do. David Atkins, so for everyone, people are leaving Facebook quickly. There are 3 different social sites that are getting a ton of responses to the lack of freedom Facebook allows, and more. Even YouTubers are marketing it. I was on one called Vivo, and it's, I think the only person that's broadcasting on there is Zack Snyder. It's deader than doornails. And I got on another one. I don't remember the name of it, but, of course, then again, Facebook was really, really slow when I got on. It was seen as a more computer-friendly version of MySpace, which it was, and actually still continues to be. And MySpace has become a wasteland now. But yeah, I'd be interested in some of those sites, though. I'm kind of curious. And there we go. Smash words for me. Thank you, Rob Anderson. Sincerely. I appreciate that. And also, my Goodreads page, you are awesome. I so appreciate you, my friend. You are so good to me, because Rob promotes me even when I forget to. So, and Ted Van Son has hashtag talk with Ted DDYNY. Okay, all right, whatever that is. And Rob Anderson, there I am again. And hashtag Paratalk Radio. Okay, Ted, I do know what that is, and that is a quality production there. I have listened to it several times. And Tyrone Tony Reed Jr. Good morning, everyone. Have a wonderful day and week, and I hope you do the same. But you forgot something, young man. TyroneTonyReedJr.com. You got to go there because it's awesome. Because Tyrone Tony Reed Jr. is awesome. And he was on Clever Title Pending a couple weeks ago with Kathy Jackson and David Atkins. And you've got to go back on our YouTube channel. We have a playlist of our recent episodes of shows. And I'm probably going to go back and download some of the older, more disastrous episodes of Nevermind the Furthermore. I tell you, I keep getting these notices from Facebook, like 3 years ago, here's what you were doing on this day. And there's an episode of Nevermind the Furthermore. And I'm like, oh no, how can I suppress this? It's like, it's as unslick as this production can be at times. We were a lot unslicker back in the day. And Nick Tucker, it is remarkable how easy this group comes together to support Sarah needing less clothing. Elegantly done. Well, Nick, we're here for Sarah. Sarah has had a challenging existence at times, but she's courageously pushed through. And as a potential icon of feminists and creative people everywhere. This is why we support her right to wear fewer clothes. Anyway, Russell Allen, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Russell. Hope you are having a fantastic morning and hope you had a great weekend, too. Christian Basil, Brian, you don't have to read this. This is in bad form. I won't know until I read it, Christian, and knowing you, I probably better preview it. But you know what? I am going to go through this. I'm going to read this without pre-reading it. And when we come to something objectionable, then we'll deal with it. How's that? Because I trust you, Christian. I know you never lead me wrong, and you better not try. Anyway, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS is accepting sponsorship and 10 to 15 second ads from said sponsors. If anyone wants to sponsor, reach out to us at sage@hangingwithshow.com or hangingwithshow.com for packages and rates. I will be honored to post your ads and Meredith's ads for your constant support of our show as a show of thank you to you and Meredith. Well, thank you, Christian. I am in the process of working some stuff up. So, and I'm looking at sponsorship too of my programs as well. But anyway, thank you, Christian. That is very cool. And you are more than welcome to mention that on our show. All right. And because we like the Hanging with Show people too. All right. They're great. And so are you. And David Atkins, Brian, you and me are big on the comic scene. Well, I know, but I'm trying to lose weight, man. So here's a question with alternate motives. Oh, really? You of all people. Name 4 comics that Russ Heath did covers for, and who was an alternate artist for the comic. Okay. I will take that challenge. I know he drew some Star Spangled War stories. He did some Haunted Tank. Suicide Squad. He was the artist on some Suicide Squad issues back in the aughts. Trying to think if he did any Our Army at War, because he was the artist on Sergeant Rock for the longest time. He did Men's Adventures, because he was also he did some of the astonishing back in the 50s, because he frequently worked for Stan Lee, and he worked on Men's Adventures, the episode of the Human Torch, where the Human Torch is revived after being dormant since the 40s. So I think I win. George Sorrell, good morning to you, George. Hope you're having a great morning. Got a nice scoop from Joel Eisenberg on my podcast last week. Star Trek fans should check it out. Well, if you leave that link there, my friend, I'm sure they will. The part you missed, says Andrew Welch. Thank you, brother. Archangel, the storyline will follow that crisis of opinion as he decides who he will be, and the CF name will be considered and discarded in the process of finding his place of a hero. I think it will make a better story now. Well, I think it'll make a great story, my friend. And I'm sorry about it cutting off at the end and just before you were done. Isn't that the way? That's why I keep encouraging people. You'll come up with tighter copy. One, it's better. If you can't sum up what you do in real tight copy, then something where and I'm not saying this because of ego, but when we first switched to StreamYard, some people thought it was funny to fill the screen with copy because it cut my face off. I don't care about that. I really don't. But what it does do is cut off your copy. That's all it does. It doesn't bother me not to be seen. I'd do this as a radio show if I thought it had legs enough to do it. But no, I've talked to some people about making this, not a little aside here, Andrew, but some people have said, well, why don't you make this a podcast? I don't think it works as a podcast. I have listened to it, and I think a certain amount of the interactivity is lost because some people like to read the comments and not just listen to me saying them. Plus, I miss a lot of them. So I think it works better on that level. Now, Clever Title Pending works as a podcast, and I'm proud to be on iHeartRadio, and thank you to all of our listeners on iHeart, and thank you to Meredith Lawgren for making that possible as part of the Geek Insider Network. Michaela Jade laughs her ass off at Carl. Yeah, nude landscaping. Watch out for those rosebush thorns. Well, you got to be careful. We will allow you to wear gloves, okay? And David Atkins says, I can seriously name these, funny enough, but besides me and Brian, who else can name just one? Well, a lot of people don't keep track of creators, which is kind of sad, because if I like an artist or a writer, I'm going to follow them on other titles, just like in books. And the funny thing is, like I've been introduced to a number of novelists because I found out they wrote comics, like George Alec Effinger. He used to write Thongor for Marvel. Jerry Conway used to write some things. He had several, like 2 or 3 novels and a bunch of short stories. David Anthony Kraft has done some short stories and was a book publisher. Don McGregor, Gardner Fox did a lot of stuff. Lester Dent and the guy who created the Green Llama did comic books and radio. Alfred Bester did a lot of radio and comics. Just a whole lot of people. Carl Wisman, Michaela makes landscaping into a blood sport. Ouch, only one will survive. And there is a link to my Amazon page. Thank you, Rob Anderson. Go to Amazon and please check out my stuff. And I got several people on here who are on Amazon too. And right now, if you're into patriotism, if you're into old time adventure, pulp adventure, check out the original Skyman Battles the Master of Steam. This is one of my better selling books. Behind a beautiful Pat Boyette cover and Roy Thomas introduction. If you don't know who he is, you'll find out. Just get this book, you will. Anyway, the year is 1939. America's national hero is back. A Nazi Ubermensch kept alive inside his steam-powered armor kidnaps the greatest scientific minds of North America. This is from the back cover. But when Alan Turner's uncle disappears, the young man takes on the madman as the original Skyman, a dashing daredevil and scientific genius with fists of stone. With the plucky Fawn Carroll by his side, if the swashbuckling Skyman fails, America falls. Does that sound good? Check it out. Go to Amazon.com, do a search for me, do a search for Skyman, and follow Rob Anderson's link and be amazed. I hope you will. Anyway, something is coming Monday, says Rob Anderson. See where the Devil's Tales began with Written Sins, Volume 1, The Comics Devil, a collection of the Comics Devil's Tales. See some OG work, which I know what that is, and the projects that fell apart. That should be fun. Also, TerraformComics.com, changing the landscape of comics, and you'll learn more about Terraform this coming, actually tomorrow night at 7 p.m. On Clever Title Pending, where I will have Rob Anderson, Meredith Logren, and some other surprises along the way. And Rob, let me know when you get that set up, that thing you discussed the other day with Varian. I'm intrigued. We could just share a channel and then just make sure you put it on my YouTube and Rising Tide and my profile page. And then I tell you what, at 9 o'clock, I'll bow out and let Varian have that time slot. How does that sound? I'll vacate the premises. So anyway, please check it out. We're going to have some of the talent from Terraform with us. And if you have any questions on the submission process, our business model, or anything else, please contact us. Hoping Luke will come by, and Luke Stone will come by and talk about stuff. But anyway, the three of us are more than capable of doing so ourselves. Anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, this coming weekend, starting at noon Eastern, 11 Central, we're going to be kicking off IndieCon, which will be a virtual convention, free admission to all. And Meredith Logren is still filling up time slots. If you want to host a 30 to 60-minute time slot, please contact Meredith Logren and talk with her about what you do. And she might just put you on. Who knows? And let's see if there's anybody else I haven't said hello to yet. And we're catching up on comments. Rick Bradley, good to have you here, brother. Hope you're doing well. And Bobby Nash. Bobby, it's always a pleasure to have you here, sir. Hope your morning is going well, as did your weekend. So anyway, yes, Terraform, we are currently looking for submissions, although that window is going to close very soon. We've had some really good projects cross our path. We've had a couple projects that were... Put your best foot forward, people. That's the lesson to be learned here. Anyway, Bill Sarton, good morning to you, Bill. Hope you're doing well. Happy Monkeys Monday, Brian and Nevermorians. Did everyone survive the festivities over the weekend? I thoroughly enjoyed my little get-together in Hoosierland. Well, I'm glad you did, Bill. If you came anywhere close to here, probably your ears are ringing this morning. I think I'm clinically deaf today. And Robert Beatty, good morning, Monster Morris. Well, Monster Robert, how are you, my friend? Hope you had a great weekend, sir. Hope you and the family had a great 4th of July. And Andrew Welch, I'm actually adding a new villain to the series. We will have a recurring punching bag who is white supremacist or a Nazi type. I'm trying to figure out how to make him more than a throwaway character. Here's the key. As someone who writes villains, okay, The phrase I grew up with in history was, you always should think, everybody has a good side, even villains. And, the phrase I grew up was, even Hitler loved his canary. Look at Victor Von Doom. He cares about he runs Latveria like a tyrant, but deep down, you attack one of his people, he'll come at you guns blazing. Red Skull is kind of beyond redemption, but a lot of even Thanos has love in his heart. Just got to find that one thing that humanizes the character. Lex Luthor, aside from this bigotry against Kryptonians, he would probably be like curing everything but male pattern baldness, of course. In his case, he'd be a scientific genius if he didn't waste all his time trying to kill Superman. So anyway, there's that. That's some of my advice. Find a way to humanize him. And it's like I keep telling people where I'm analyzing stories where they have basically a cardboard cutout villain. I tell them, I don't need to like the villain, but I need to understand them. There's your hook. I hope that helps. David Atkins says the trend to all social sites is that trolls make them go away because it is no longer fun or entertaining to be on them. Leads to more suicides and proven by statistics. Only we can prevent that. Yeah, I mean, I don't put up with trolls. We've actually had a couple trolls on here. And YouTube, my YouTube channel at first was attracting a number of trolls, but I went in and cleaned them up. And I don't put up with that. And if anybody comes on here to troll, I will deal with them severely. I will, that's what screen captures, and I'll talk to Mr. Zuckerberg himself. Anyway, Nick Tucker says, oh, Cindy Kep, what is the title of the book that you were doing with the glorious fight scenes? It is so wonderful to see quality sword fight choreography in a media. Would that be Animal Eye? Would that be Animal Eye, available from bearpublications.com or from Amazon as well? Anyway, her break is over, Nick. I'm sorry. But Nick, talk about your stuff too, my brother. And Christian Basil, if deface a statue of Brian may like it. If I deface a Sarah statue, it's called indecent exposure. You deface a Sarah statue, that's called a death sentence, brother. She's got her legion of supporters on here, of whom I am one. Maybe several. I'm a keyword that help Amazon sales on Amazon. Philip Thompson, that is a great question. And sorry we can't give that the attention it deserves, but basically what you want to do with your keywords, and this is good for everybody, and we all should review our keywords every now and then because we can always find better ones that will attract people to our books on Amazon. Keywords are things that the Amazon algorithms basically use to sell your work. In your case, apply it to the genre, apply it to what you are doing. Like humor would be a great keyword for you. Cartoons would be a great keyword for you. Also, here's a tip. Like, fill in the blank. For instance, if someone liked the Berenstains, you do a lot of stuff with bears. If you put likes Berenstains or reads Berenstains, that's free. Now, the thing is with your keywords, do not repeat your title. Do not repeat your name. There is no percentage in using the keywords in your ad copy on Amazon. And make sure, Philip, if you're on Amazon, fill out your Amazon author page fully. And I need to get back to it. But a few weeks ago on our Rising Tide Publications page, I made an offer to go through people's Amazons and see what they need to do to spice things up. We got a contribution. In fact, I'm not going to reveal the name, but we got an inquiry from someone who writes books and writes comic books. And they were saying, well, I'm a bestseller on Amazon. I am too, to be honest. My book on book reviews actually was a #1 book in its category for like 3 or 4 hours. And I was very pleased with that. But anyway, and thank you to everyone that helped. But the thing is, I went through, I could only find one book on Amazon that linked up to his author page, But then I did a little deeper dive and did some tricks. But I still couldn't find his books on Amazon. But I went to Goodreads, and all of his books are listed there with Amazon links to those books. So you need to pack that all onto your Amazon author page. So anyway, Philip, why don't you make a list of 7 keywords or 10 keywords, and send me a DM and let's talk about it. I think I might be able to really help you on this one. And there's Rick Bradley. Good morning, Nevermorians. I'm doing some fun training for the next few weeks. I just bet. So I'll try to get on here as much as I can. Just remember, we can write you a note, and your employer, once you say, well, I have to take time off because Nevermind the Furthermore is on, they'll understand. Rick Bradley says, come and check out my author page at rbradley42. I hope to see you there. I post some funny things and updates to my upcoming projects. And he has his website at authorrickbradley.com. Not only that, but on a dare, Sam explores an old house that supposedly was the scene of the grisly murder of a family. He found a little blue marble for proof he was there. After getting home and shining the marble under his light, faces could be seen. Faces in horrible pain, but that's just his imagination, right? Well, you can find out in Rick Bradley's first published book, The Marble, in the horror anthology, The Nightmare Collective. You can pick that up on Amazon in both paperback and ebook form, available from Neolleaf Press. 8 great short stories that will make your nighttime a little less comfortable. And Meredith Walgren, and I would gladly add a TLTT bump to my show too, Christian. Yes, definitely. Yeah, super. And Christian, if you'll get me a short video, let's share the wealth here. I'll put you in rotation here. How does that sound? All right. One hand washes the other, brother. And Bill Sartin, join the far out and groovy people by clicking on Sartin Art 76, the artwork of Bill Sartin, and check out his patriotic cartoon character themed sketches he's posted all last week, along with an Independence Day tribute watch party and other fond memories from the bicentennial. So check out the artwork of Bill Sartin, where everything old is new again. Very good, Bill. That's great copy there. And Rick Bradley says, apple pie has always been an all-American food. Joe's Cafe in Eden Falls has some of the best. Marvin Carter did not expect it could possibly be his last meal, though. Find out what happens in Marvin's Night Out. That will be released this month. Details on pre-order for your Kindle coming soon. Yeah, check out the pre-order and get you a copy of that, man, because Kindle pre-order is fantastic. Can't do it yet for the paperbacks because he isn't Stephen King. Stephen King gets that treatment. We don't. But anyway, what happens is, one, you support his numbers. His numbers start rising, which makes his book more visible in the algorithms. And so more people will give it a shot before it even comes out. And the day it is released, which he's going to schedule, which I know what it is, but he hasn't confirmed it yet. Anyway, when that happens, when you get up that morning, it'll be like Christmas. You'll run downstairs, go under the September tree. I'm sure we all have one. Is it just me? Anyway, you'll go down under the tree. You'll pull out that Kindle, fire that thing up, and of course, the first thing you see is his first book. His first novel. Help support a first-time novelist with that, okay? Please do, okay? The work of Rick Bradley. It's great stuff. George Sarah says, the link I need everyone to follow is the YouTube ones for the podcast, and there it is. The show needs lots of rates and reviews since I have some great guests lined up for future episodes. Well, there you go. Reviews are important there. Also, leave me some comments on my YouTube page. It helps us all. Subscribe to George Sarah's podcast. You will be glad you did, because he's a clever man and we respect the heck out of him. David Atkins, I did one worse. I know Russ did Lone Ranger, Men's Magazine, Western Outlaws, and Tales from the Crypt. That's true. He also did National Lampoon. He inked an Enemy Ace book not long ago, about 7 or 8 years ago, in a Garth Ennis story. Great story, by the way. And he's worked on Sergeant Rock. He worked on Sergeant Rock for, almost 20 years, I think, along with The Haunted Tank and various other things. So, yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. And the other artist was Frazetta and Chuck Miller on most. There we go. Well, Frazetta did a ton of covers, mostly because he was so slow. He was very methodical, and so he, like Al Williamson and Roy Crankle, didn't do a whole lot of covers or a lot of interiors, simply because it consumed so much time. So anyway, good question, David. Good question. Good answer, too. And here we go. Part 4 of 4 real-life serial killers are their ghosts. and used for a horror RPG or just your story, well, check out what Sarah has done through Fishwife Publications. Thank you, Dave Woodruff, for giving us this great superstar here. So anyway, check it out at Fishwife Productions at Drive Through RPG. Great stuff, great work. And Bobby Nash, good morning, brother. Good morning. I will check out the sub guidelines. I love writing comics. Yeah, definitely. Check it out. And if you have any questions, talk to me. Okay, I'll be glad to help you. David Atkins, does anyone remember The Shadow where Russ did covers? Yeah, that's right. He did a graphic novel. He inked Mike Kaluta on a Denny O'Neil story. It was originally a Marvel production, but I think Dynamite Productions has picked that up now. But anyway, that's a good one, David. Thank you. Rick Bradley. Oh, and also Russ Heath also did one you may not know about. You could classify it men's magazines. He was one of the artists on Little Annie Fanny by Harvey Kurtzman and Will Elder for a number of years. Rick Bradley said Dr. Doom also tried to gain power to free his mother from Mephisto. That's true. There we go. That is true. Good call. Good call, Rick Bradley. Nick Tucker, now I'm going to have to ask, Superman or Cap? Soups or Cap? I know a lot of people are in Soup's camp. Yeah. Cap seems to have, I don't know, more of an anti-bully spirit, where Superman comes off like he's a good bully more often, if that makes sense. Thoughts? No, that's a good observation. In fact, that was one of the things that I think is kind of a black mark on Superman 2, where Christopher Reeve gives a bravura performance as Superman, as always, even through a slightly weaker script than Superman 1. He and Margot Kidder and Gene Hackman carry that movie. And so does Christopher Stamp and Jack Halloran and Sarah Douglas, too. There's some great performances in there, despite the scripts. But the scene at the end where Clark Kent has regained his superpowers and he goes back to that diner just to push the bully around. That is kind of like, well, Clark, it's a little mean-spirited of you. I can see that, and I'm currently reading this second graphic novel of Identity Crisis right now. It's got Superman in there very powerfully. It's very good book where they tie the DC universe into the Watchmen universe. I'm really enjoying that. But anyway, yeah, Super Cap. I still like Superman. But Cap's up there as far as I'm concerned. I've always liked Captain America's adventures. And even when he was Hydra, that was kind of fun. They gave a good reason and it had a good outcome. And they're dealing with it right now, which I'm really enjoying. George Serrano says, it's like what Mick Foley once said about heels in wrestling. A bad guy has to always believe that what they're doing is right. Exactly. Or Lex Luthor from the Smallville series, about how we believe we are all the hero in our own story. We never believe we're the villain. Carl Wisman, Brian has put up with my trolling for over a year now, but your trolling is fun. I love your trolling, dude. David Atkins, how popular was Chuck Miller, and does anyone remember the art of Roy Rogers comics and Spicy Detective with real great freaking art? Yeah, those Spicy Detective books were great. Those 30s pulps. And I wouldn't mind spicy stuff coming back. That might be fun. And yeah, I remember Chuck Miller. I've recently kind of been introduced to him and didn't realize what a huge body of work he has. Meredith Logman, speaking of Cindy Kemp, she's going to keep me company on Sunday night as I drink heavily. Well, Meredith, that sounds cool. Meredith, are we also doing, have you scheduled the after show that I mentioned to you? I think that could be fun. I definitely am on board for the after show. The Afterglow after show. There we go. David Atkins, okay, here is something much more personal, but have you met an idol who was really, really rude? Can't help how well I know Neil Adams and how often I have seen him, but wow, rude every time. The thing is, I've heard the same thing about John Byrne when he used to do conventions. I have nothing but good memories of John. And I have seen some comic pros be rude to people, not nude like, Sarah or Michaela. But, I have seen people, comic professionals be rude. I've seen a few of the younger ones, basically punks who think that, if I act like the image, if I act like I don't give an F, that, everyone will see me as edgy and I'll be popular. No, it just means you're an a-hole. whereas some of the guys like Todd McFarlane, I hear has been nude, or not nude, excuse me, rude. If he's been nude, I don't know about it. I'm sure he has at one point or another. We all got a shower, but now he got me thinking about that. But anyway, no, I have heard some people have had rough times with him at conventions. And I was in an interview with him years ago, in Comics Interview, and he was fantastic. He was courteous. He was, he's a lot of people confuse being outspoken with being rude. Rob Anderson is outspoken. He is never rude, and he's always kept the high road, every time I've seen him, at least. But Neil Adams, I've talked to people who have met him. I met Neil Adams once, and it was a great experience. Usually he is rude in reply to people that don't respect him, because, and I get it too, even at my level. And I'm sure you have too, David, where somebody thinks they can score points by showing, oh boy, I sure showed that big celebrity. But it doesn't wash. It just points out what an idiot the person attacking us is. So yeah, I like Neil Adams. One time I liked Neil Adams, when I met him, and I still I'm sure I'd like him now. So, but I talk to people that know him. As long as you treat them with respect, they'll amplify it and send it right back to you, right? Carl Westman, drinking heavily of Meredith Logren, count us in. Hey, I'm there. I will get tanked up for that show too. Christian Basil, and the only sober one will be Cindy, I'm sure. She's a good girl. The rest of us are base demons. Anyway, Christian Basil, I'm a bestseller on Amazon as well. It has nothing to do with books. What does it have to do with services provided? Inquiring minds want to know. Asking for a friend who wears a fez. David Atkins, sorry I have to leave. I'm sorry you have to leave too. I got an interview to get ready for. Everyone makes someone smile this week while not letting one person upset you because of you. I bet you can. So make more smiles than frowns. You got that right, David. David, good luck on your interview. Have a fantastic day. Thank you for being here, brother. And bye, David. Bye, David. We sad face now. And good luck with the interview, David, says Meredith Logren. Totally agree. And gotta run. Have a great day. Bobby Nash, great to see you as always. We will be talking soon, my friend. You are awesome. And everyone go to bobbynash.com or ben-books.com. Check out the work of Bobby Nash. It's exciting. And remember, it's always the hashtag the summer of snow. Check it out. Also, abrahamsnow.com. And did you just say how you know people in soup camps? Cheeky boy. Yeah, that's the place where the soup Nazi won't let you go. Anyway, here's Anna Maria Salvaggio. How are you doing? Hello, Brian K. Morris. Anna Maria, mwah! So good to see you in between classes, and thought I'd pop in. Anna Maria, this is the only class this show will ever see. I promise you. Anyway, I'm so glad you're here. Hope you're having a great morning. Hope your 4th of July went well. All right, and here we go. I just shot past a whole bunch of people. And hi, author Bobby Nash. Bye, Bobby. Yeah, seriously. He vanishes like the wind. Bobby Nash is ninja. Rick Bradley says, I'm more of a Captain America fan. Where Superman has all those powers to protect him, Cap will stare down the same threats without those powers. He can do that all day. That's right, he can. He's only got dangerous chemicals coursing through his system. And gotta go, Meredith Logren, thunderstorms. I can't afford another new computer. Hugs and love, Meredith. I love you. We'll be talking to you later today, I'm sure. Love you. Stay safe. Unplug every damn thing. And Anna Maria says, like both Cap is a fave, though. Yeah, seriously. I like both characters. And, the best, it goes for Captain America, too. That has been her. Denny O'Neil, the late Denny O'Neil, once said about Superman that Superman is so powerful he can even withstand bad writing, and Cap's the same way. George Sarah, the Donner cut of Superman 2 is even worse since that original ending had Superman doing the turn the world back instead of in the first movie. The world has no memory of what the supervillains did, and yet Clark still goes back to that diner and pushes the bully around. Yeah, there we go. At least the Richard Lester cut of it has everyone still reeling from the damage done. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. And also, I liked the revelation of Superman in the Donner cut better, and it was something that they used as a tryout for the Lois Lanes that's on the DVDs and Blu-rays, where the script goes that, and I know I won't do it justice, but basically Lois is saying to Clark Kent that, I never see you in Superman. You kind of look the same. But I never see the two of you together. Now, why is that? And Clark is making excuses, and she's like, well, I figured out how to prove it. She pulls out a gun and aims it at Clark's chest, and he's of course like, no, don't shoot. I I don't know what you're talking about. Please don't shoot. And she pulls the trigger, and it goes off, and suddenly he does that, thing that Christopher Reeve did just so incredibly well, and the kind that makes you choke up, and you realize, oh, that's how he does the disguise thing. But anyway, he pulls back his shoulders, looks down at Lois, and says, "You realize if you were wrong, Clark Kent would be dead." And she just smiles and holds up the gun and goes, "Nope, blanks." And Superman gets that like, oh, look. So yeah, you're right. There were a lot of problems with Superman less so, I think, than Superman 2. I think the script is a little bit more problematic, and I never really appreciated the camp aspects of both movies, and it got worse in the other two. But that just shows you what an incredible talent Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder and all those people were, that they could make that movie palatable. Because, in lesser hands, that, and Richard Donner in particular, Richard Lester didn't do a bad job. It's just that Donner's version appealed more to me. But can you we might not have the superhero trend that we have now if those movies had bombed. Seriously. Anna Maria Salveggio goes, "Yeah, I don't pick up edgy, I pick up a-hole." Same. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Some days you can't spit without hitting one. I understand that. And Robert Beatty says, "I met Neil a few years ago. He was nice to me." Yeah, and John Byrne was always nice to me too. And like I said, I was, I remember this interview I did. It was me and a bunch of other retailers, and Todd McFarlane entered the conversation as a provider of product to all of us. And at one point I had to leave the interview because I had another appointment. And Todd was like, "No, don't go, Brian." And he was like making me feel important. It was good, whether he meant it or not. I enjoyed it. It was good for my ego. And good luck, David, says Anna Maria. I agree. And good. See, I speak your language, Anna Maria, and I'll fix these things for you. And hashtag bring Cookie home and hashtag keep Cookie home. Robert Beatty, thank you very much for that. Much love. Appreciate that. And what you know of my EB comic. Philip, I would start out with, in your case, I would start out with humor. I would start out with the term funny animals, comic books, web comics. What am I up to? About 4 or 5? Reed's Berenstains. And what else? Webtoons. Comic books would be a decent one. Funny animal, I've said. Talking bears would be one. And think now, I'll give it to you. What inspired you to come up with this particular concept? Like Yogi Bear, the Hair Bear Bunch. What inspired you to come up with it? Because if it inspired you, the fans of that property might like to read your stuff too. So hope that helps. Hope you've been writing that down. And Rick Bradley says, "Everyone take care and stay creative. I'm going to catch the rerun." Oh, hey, make sure the rerun doesn't catch you first. Rick Bradley, thank you for being here, my man. And Anna Maria Salveggio goes, "Christopher Reeve was always my favorite, though. It did really get campy, but still." Yeah, that's the thing. Some of the 4 doesn't age well at all, although the message was great. 3... It was the theatrical release was a fantastic Richard Pryor movie. It was a pretty sucky Superman film, though, although it had Robert Vaughn. That saved a lot for me. So, yeah, I agree. You have to look, if you look at it through the lens of time critically, some things just don't hold up, unfortunately. But Superman 1 always will. Michaela Jade Hawk is a man cursed to live with dark secrets, but he'll be damned if he lets Cassidy die. Will he trust her enough and reveal himself in time to save her? Find out in Warrior's Secret, available now on Amazon in ebook and paperback form. Share that link if you would, please, Michaela. And I prefer the Donner cut of Superman 2 personally, says Robert Beatty. I like them both for different reasons. My favorite cut, actually, though, all things considered, is the TV version of Superman 2, because it kind of gives you an ending to what happened to the Phantom Zone villains. So Andrew Welch says, my least and most favorite Superman film, excuse me, is Superman 3, says Andrew Welch. It's fun, but way too cheesy, in his opinion. And I have to agree, especially the Atari Superman game on the giant computer control screen. We need Gus Gorman to come back. Great character. Yeah, Gus Gorman was a fantastic character. And I see Robert Vaughn's character as kind of a version of Morgan Edge at the time. Superman 3 is okay. I like, again, the TV version, the expanded version, because it seems like the only scenes they cut out were Superman. And he does some good super stunts on there. And the scene where he turns bad, and the scenes in Smallville were like worth the price of admission, in my opinion. And that fight he has with himself is Christopher Reeve is acting his ass off in that one. He is fantastic. He always was. And I miss the man. He's more than just Superman. He's a hero to me. George Farrar, there needs to be a supercut, pun intended, of the best of the Donner cut and the best of the Lester cut that coincides with the finished version of the first film that we all know. It was a better decision for Superman to turn the world back in the first film anyway, since it was so much more personal. That's what I liked about the second film, because it was more than Superman just facing a real estate challenge. That the first movie was all the super stuff he could do, and finally being able to realize it on the screen. The second film, I agree, was much more personal, where Superman is balancing the needs of the world for a Superman versus his own personal needs as a human being, pretty much, or one raised as one. And on that level, I loved Superman too. It had a lot of rough edges on it. And again, I don't think Richard Lester did a bad job. I just, just don't appreciate the creative choices that he made. And now we're hearing about, just as a little aside here, we're seeing some stuff about Joss Whedon, that the gentleman who played Cyborg in Justice League doesn't have some very kind things to say about him, about Joss Whedon as the director and writer of the Justice League movie. And he's not getting a whole lot of pushback from the other members of the cast and crew. In fact, some of the crew have come out and said, yeah, he's right. He was a jerk to many of us. And it's kind of fun that somebody pointed out that some of the photos, like from Comic-Con, of Ray, and I apologize to the actor for forgetting his last name, but he, and I know one of you will correct me soon, but he made some comments over tweets over the weekend about what a jerk Joss Whedon was, and how he doesn't quite live up to his rep as a creator in certain ways, at least with other creative people. And you study like Jason Momoa's downcast face as everyone's talking nice about Josh, and also Ben Affleck at that same time. So it's just kind of interesting in retrospect. I mean, what did you think of my comic Saturday? I liked it, Philip. I think I gave it some love on Instagram. Christian Basil, we forget celebrities are human, but they forget we're human too, and we have an expectation. The one time I saw a celebrity go off on his staff, I was backstage to introduce the celebrity. They had no idea I was watching and instantly apologized. Let's just say I never want to be in their bad side, and was still honored to be their introduction on the stage. Yeah, I can't say that I've seen people blow up, and there are different levels of celebrity is the thing. I finally had to learn that as well. I don't see myself as one, but to some people I am, which, of course, my imposter syndrome kicks in then. But yeah, it's, like I said, I've not seen anyone who's like a much higher level than I am in any creative field really be rude to somebody without somebody being really, really rude to them first. So anyway, Ana Maria Salvaggio says, in a lot of those movies, even if they were bad, laid the ground for what we have now. Exactly. And it was the first time really that superheroes were treated seriously, like they were worthy of a major motion picture. I mean, you had things like, Batman 66, which I still love. I still love that movie, but it's clearly a product of its time. It's, clearly cardboard sets, whereas Superman looked like they actually spent some money on it. So, Carl Witzman, need to go soon. See you all later. Well, I got to go too, but we're glad you're here, Carl. Thank you for being here, brother. And George Thurl, one of the very best scenes in all of the first 4 Superman films is the Clark versus Superman battle in the junkyard. Yes, indeed. Good friend of mine, Charlie Chartrand, does a great dark Superman from that. And he's always he always carries a bag of peanuts with him, saying, don't make me go off on you. Don't make me flick these at you. Robert Beatty, JB was just trying to throw his weight around on the 4th. DNR was driving around trying to shut down all the local fireworks shows. Yeah, I can imagine. I can just imagine. Well, they can try, but like I said, our Norwell police, they can't keep up with it, and they find it more of a nuisance than anything. George Thurl, Ray Fisher, thank you, George. Thank you. George, I had Ray, and Fisher was just out of my consciousness. I knew it was something with an F, but I'm good with F words. Anna Maria Salvaggi goes, I run the Kentucky Browncoats, and I've been on the fence about Whedon for a while. Yeah, well, what is it? His ex-wife didn't have very kind things to say to him, and you can write that off as just like, demonizing the ex. But then again, when other people are saying it, you kind of go, Although everyone on the Buffy thing and like the what is that Dr. Horrible sing-along blog, everyone seems to worship him, but in Firefly, but then we all have two sides of us. Who knows? Bill Sartin, I love stories where superheroes lose their powers because it shows you how they are forced to deal with situations the way Batman, Green Arrow, etc. does every day. I think everyone should read the Wonder Woman comics from the 70s, yes, where she didn't have her powers. It's a really exciting take on a normally invulnerable hero. Superpowers don't always make a hero. Remember that Batman had a way to take them all down if he had to. That's true. That's true. And I love the old Mike Sekowsky depowered Wonder Woman. It got a little anti-feminist at times, or non-feminist, I should say. I remember one early issue where Wonder Woman's like, well, what do I do? I know, I'll go shopping, and I'm like, oh, kind of set the movement back, Mike. But no, those were great stories. They really were. I liked his Metal Men at the time, too, where they had to pretend to be human. That was really, Mike Sekowsky did some great stuff, and I love his Supergirl at the time, too, with the on-off superpowers. But yeah, in fact, some of my favorite early Superman stories were ones where he lost his power and had to replicate them to protect his secret identity. Anna Maria Salvaggi goes, Regis Philbin, I can vouch, a-hole, but in his defense, they put up with a lot of fan groveling and entitlement that would grate on me too. Yeah, I heard Regis had a temper on him. So, but again, what pushed them to that level? You never know. Now, someone who's always nice, unless you push him, is Rob Anderson. And even when he pushes and pushes back, it's with love. The uncanny creative indie devil who is a proud comic book advocate who creates independent comics and underground comics about fetish, monsters, and more. You can follow him at MrAnderson.com. Find out about Mr. Anderson, the indie devil himself, who will tempt you with his devilish tales. Nick Tucker, my celebrity hit was meeting Rich Cause, son of Sven Gulli. The horror movie host was a dream of mine. He was very short-tempered and rude to staff and the people who came out. May have been an off day, but it cured me of ever wanting to stand in line to meet celebs. Well, and that's the thing. I've met some celebrities who were so very gracious. Stan Lee grilled me for 5-10 minutes on where I had made, purchased a shirt that I had made, and he threatened to sue me at the end. But at the end, he treated me like I was his co-star. He really did. Great man. John Byrne always treated me well. Like I said, made you glad for the experience of having met them. And Murphy Anderson, the same way, who actually thanked me for working on a book of his from Tomorrow's. I have, and I think the closest I've come is Jim Aparo, but the guy Jim Aparo and Steve Englehart, two different things at Chicago Comic-Con back in the day, back in the 80s. And some guy had come up to each of them demanding they fill, I'm going to blank out your thing so you get the perspective here, but, take a stack like, this tall and, told them sign them all, and wouldn't leave until they got them all signed. And Aparo was clearly annoyed, but I went up to him and, he just kind of looked at me like, what are you bringing? And I just had one thing. And I said, I'd love it if you'd sign this. And I'm sorry I didn't bring as much for you to sign as the previous guy. And he kind of laughed and nodded and thanked me for being there. Very nice man. And the other one is Steve Englehart. And again, some a-hole brought a stack of books from his waist to his shoulders and just basically dropped them in front of him and said, sign them. And Englehart just glared at him for a second, then took the top book, put it on the table, opened up the front cover, signed it, closed the book, took the second one, put it on the table, opened the cover, signed it, closed it, put both books back on top, and walked away without another word. Or no, I take it back. He said, the signing is over. And I don't blame him at all. So, but I hope it doesn't. Well, Nick, you're a celebrity to me. So, and I know you will never treat people that way. So you're going to be awesome. How are you liking the new Stargirl series? Probably the best series so far in Andrew Welch's opinion. I agree. It is great. I love that show. I've seen the first 3 episodes. I'm going to catch up on the another 4, I think it is this week. I think it's very intelligent. I love the shout outs to the original comic, as subtle as some of them can be, and the acting is fantastic on that thing. I'm really enjoying it. Gotta jump. Big love back to you, Anna Maria. It's so good seeing you. I miss you. Prepping for the second class of 4 today. Ouch. Hope to see you on Twitch Wednesday for writing, but I think you're streaming. Wednesday morning I am. Send me a link, please, in DM, and I will see what I can do, okay? And enjoy your day. Hugs and love back to you, sweetheart. Keep being you. You're fabulous at it. Well, I keep practicing at it, but I'm trying to attain the level of amazingness that you possess, Anna Maria. Thank you for being here, and thank you for contributing, and you have an amazing day, amazingly good day, okay? And now we go to Rob Anderson, Comic School Audible at comicbook.com. The Sandman DC Neil Gaiman audiobook, Audible trailer. Ooh. Oh, I hope he's reading it. He's got an amazing voice. Donna Carleen says, Miss Chicago Con, got to meet Peter Davison at 1. He was so nice. Well, yeah. I would love to meet Peter Davison. I've heard nothing but raves about him, and actually all the actors from Doctor Who. And I've said the story about Colin Baker, where he was nice to us. He was clearly peeved with the management of the convention I was working, where Colin was the main guest. But he went and he rewarded everyone who stepped up when the convention was falling apart. And I'm not bragging on me, but I'm glad to say I was one of them. And he was just so kind to everyone that he would always be my favorite Doctor actor. All right. Meeting Stan Lee was like getting blessed by the Pope, says George Straw, since I told him about my character Excelsior and how he helped inspire him. He gave a great big smile and said, oh, that's great, and followed with a very sturdy handshake. Yeah, George, I agree with you. Stan Lee, he was Marvel's and comic books best salesman. He really was. I thought he was a hell of a guy, and I met him twice, and both times you feel better walking away from him, than when you met him, because you've had a great experience with him. And that's when I try to bring people into my circle at shows. I try to give them the same thing. I think it's the least any of us who have attained any level of positive notoriety could do. And I know, George, you're the same way. I know you follow that yourself. Robert Beatty said, the 2 rudest celebrities that I have met are Justin Hartley and the guy who was the villain in Supergirl season 1, who was also in Twilight. I heard the guy, I can't remember his name. Didn't he play Morgan Edge, I think, on Supergirl? I heard he was a little short with some people, especially later in the day. Justin Hartley, I met him, and I can't say he was effusive, but I could tell he didn't want to be there. I know what you're talking about. I was in that same conga line as you, I think, at the Superman celebration. But that was the show I met Phil Morris, and I went in as a fan of Phil Morris. I am a lifetime devotee. Of course, I went up to him, and I've told the story before, Robert, but like at the time he was playing John Jones on Smallville, and I leaned over and I said, I couldn't give less of a damn about Smallville. I want to hear about your time on Mission Impossible. And he lit up. I mean, he got to his feet and he was so happy. He was just like, shake my hand, sort of thing. And he was just so excited that somebody remembered him from that, and not like Friends or what he was doing on Smallville. And he was just so on fire about that. And that just made me feel good that I made his day as well. And he made mine in turn. So anyway, but I understand that, Robert. I really do. Donna Carlene says, John Delancey was a real a-hole at the con I saw. It made me not even want to get his autograph. I had heard from a friend that he was at he could be pretty petty, I hear. And I'm sure there are people that love him, and I probably would love him if I met him. But he was at a show where like the Doctor Who show I was at, where the promoters tried to renege on some of his promises. So he did his signings and everything, but he went back to his room, and they had given, of course, the promoters had given him the room and gave him all proper benefits. So he used the hotel phone to call all of his friends all around the world and ran up several $100s in phone charges. This is back, this is a landline thing. And he ran up several $100s in charges and left, so that takes a certain amount of assholery to be that angry at somebody like that. Midgard Comics, says Sarah, brick and mortar comic shop is open in Charleston again. I know those two guys. They know me. Drop my name, Sarah, and they will go, ooh. Anyway, planning on going and checking out what they have today. Well, very good. Well, please say hello to them for me. I've only, since they opened, I've only been there once. I've got to go and give them some love. Maybe if we wind up having our own convention in September, who knows? Robert Beatty, I wish I'd gotten the chance to meet Stan the Man. Seriously, he was a fantastic guy. He really was, and world's not quite as bright without him. Russell Allen, hope everyone has a great week. I keep losing service. Well, I'm not taking the blame for that. I hope it gets fixed, Russell Allen. Please check out my page. I've got big things coming. Book 1 of Xenonite Titan is almost complete. You can check that out on Facebook at russexplode.com. That's with an X. Russexplode.com. Right there. Anyway, not .com. I keep giving .coms to Facebook pages. Anyway, please check out the work of Russell Allen. Russell, thank you for being here, my man. Thank you for participating. Glad you were here. Or XenoniteTitan.com. See, I was right. I just had the wrong .com. Anyway, go to XenoniteTitan.com for the work of Russell Allen. And we are actually caught up with your comments. So let's real fast. Of course, the show has gone totally smoothly, but let's have a pause for the cause here. Okay, maybe not as smooth as I hoped. All right, Sarah says, I'll drop your name at Midgard. I love you too. All right. We'll talk soon, Sarah. I know this. I hope you have a good time. Probably feels really good to be getting out of the house, doesn't it? Anyway, hope you have a good time. And again, send my best. I appreciate almost all comic shops, and certainly that one in particular. Good memories of those guys. They were really terrific. So anyway, we are almost at the noontime hour here, and so we've got things to do, and I'm sure you do too. So I'm cutting off the comments at this point. And thank you all for participating in the show. The new people that have shown up, we love you. And everyone who's watching us on the rerun, we love you equally. We do, if not more. It depends on how much money you spend here. Anyway, you cover the 3-drink minimum, you're going to be fine. But anyway, no, seriously, we love everyone that shows up here. We appreciate everyone that has participated in the conversation. Completely awesome. And all I can say is programming notes. We will be back Wednesday morning and Friday with at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central with another Nevermind the Furthermore. And let me get this comment. Let me get off on this comment here, especially Sarah, who's dressing appropriately for the warm weather. Anyway, bad Brian. So anyway, programming note, we will be back Wednesday morning at 10 a.m., 9 a.m. Central. Also at Friday with Nevermind the Furthermore. And tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, we will have a very varied broadcast evening as Clever Title Pending, our other show. We'll have an interview with Meredith Logren, the comics noob, and Rob Anderson, the indie devil himself. And we're going to talk about our experiences with Terraform Comics, give you a little more explanation about what we do there. And we welcome your comments and your questions, of course. And we'll get to as many of them as possible. But with guests on the air, I'm not as facile as I can be about getting everyone's comments in like I am on the show. So we are delighted that you understand. And if you don't, you're out of here. Anyway, but no, seriously, we have some great comments. Please bring your questions. We'd love to have them. And we'll answer questions about submissions, about what we're doing. We'll answer questions about Sunset Trace if you want, because that's the book I'm writing for the group. Anyway, we're going to be combining with Indie Volt on some stuff tomorrow night. So I believe if Rob Anderson sets it up properly, I'm sure he will. So that's going to be a good time. We will be doing that, again, like I said, 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central. For Clever Title Pending, our talk show that involves creativity and the business behind it. Then we'll be back Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. for Nevermind the Furthermore. Yes, I'm looking at my schedule. And also Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Want to put in a shout out for Sean D. Hilton and Comics Cubed in Kokomo. You're going to have another 2-hour show, minimum, with all kinds of things for sale. Brand new comics, back issues, toys, all kinds of folderol, and you're going to love it. Also, check out 4 p.m. every day, the Comic Advocates Network on Facebook and on YouTube. We'll be broadcasting fresh stuff every day. Rob Anderson and various people are putting out new content for you that you'll find entertaining and illuminating. So anyway, that's all we've got here on this end. I've got a comic script to write, and I've got a tote cookie around, and all kinds of good stuff happening today. We hope it happens for you too. Also, don't forget on Facebook, Rising Tide Publications. Please check it out. We have fresh content 3 or 4 times every day. And also, don't forget our YouTube channel. Please subscribe when you get there. We are up to 77 people. We'd like to get 100 at least by the end of July. Please tell your friends about it. You can find playlists of recent episodes of Nevermind the Furthermore and Clever Title Pending there. If you've missed an episode, shame on you. You deserve a spanking, and please come to my house and we'll make it happen. So anyway, that's at this address here. We will be getting a new URL once we pass 100, which is why we are wanting that so badly. Anyway, please check it out. And let me get back to this, and then we'll get ready for the next shot or two. Anyway, thank you for being here for not Clever Title Pending. Oh, man. I need more of this desperately. Anyway, thank you for being here during Nevermind the Furthermore. We hope you've enjoyed what you've heard. We hope you'll come back for more on Wednesday. And also don't forget the Indie event, INDEE event. That will be starting noon Eastern, 11 Central. We'll have a special episode. Yes, not a continuation of the morning show, but a special episode of Nevermind the Furthermore at noon Eastern, programming at that virtual convention. That'll be free to you, the public, on YouTube, various channels on YouTube and on Facebook. We will be broadcasting almost continually till sometime Sunday evening. And like I said, I will be kicking it off at noon with a special Nevermind the Furthermore. And then 3 p.m. on Saturday, that's Eastern time, 2 p.m. Central, I will be joined by Eric Hawkins, the artist-writer on the Zombiful World of Oz. We'll have a special episode of Clever Title pending at that time, and we'll talk for an hour on various bits of indie comic business and how he's a rising star in that firmament. We welcome your questions. Please join us then. And there'll be all kinds of great programming from Rob Anderson, Meredith Logren, and various other people. And we still have some slots open. So please contact Meredith Logren. If you need a connection to her, contact me via Messenger on Facebook, and I will give you how to get in touch with her. We're still filling up slots, and if you want to host a half-hour to 60-minute program, please contact Meredith, and we'll make it happen, okay? Anyway, thank you for being here. Hope you all have a fantastic Monday. Hope your 4th went well, and we hope we'll see you tomorrow night for Clever Title pending, or if nothing else, we'll see you on the usual Nevermind the Furthermore on Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. And as always, folks, thank you for being here. I'm Brian K. Morris telling you, stay smart, stay safe, wash your damn hands, and never apologize for being awesome. Thanks for watching Nevermind the Furthermore. We'll see you Wednesday. Take care, everyone. Have a great Monday. Have a great Monday. That's more like it.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!